Hello, my name is Veronica, and welcome to the Learning Lab, a focus video. This time we're taking a look at the card base that I used to create my 2013 Easter cards. And I keep saying Easter cards, but they were really a spring card with an Eastery theme. Anyway, come on in and let's get started. I want to show you where I got the shape for the card base. And that's going to be found in the Cricut Craft Room on the Creative Cards cartridge. So let's go there. When I went to open my original file, half of the images I had were gone. I don't know why it's designed that way, but once the cartridge is no longer available, I still don't think you could cut from it, but I would have liked it if the Cricut Craft Room had saved my project intact. It didn't, but I can tell you that because I was using 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on the craft, that I made sure my image would fit inside that paper. That is one of the shapes, and that's basically the one that I cut a lot of the craft paper from. But to show you the one I used for my Easter cards, that's on layer 2. I cut the leaves here. Initially, when I started to do this, when I was doing these leaves, don't ask, I did them this way. And somehow I stretched them out and made them longer. So when I went to see it as grass, it just didn't look like good grass. So I didn't use that. I wound up just pulling in the image and then just pulling it down here on the side to make it as big or as small as I wanted without stretching it. I also cut these two images, which are on the Creative Cards cartridge. It's a scallop border and this little scallop one, which I thought was adorable. And this is the one I used for my cards, the one here. And I know it's at least 8 inches wide, and it may be about 10 inches long because I did cut that from 12 by 12 cardstock. And then this last one, I cut that using the craft cardstock. So let's go to the base of my card. This is what I cut out from my card base for my spring Easter cards. And what I did was put it on my scoreboard and scored it in half. This one is smaller than the one that I used, but I scored it so that my 2 pieces left were 4 inches on either side because I wanted to use it in the legal size envelope. So I scored that, and once I scored it in half, you can see that that's how I got the bottom of my card. Now, in order to get the inside piece of the card and to get my layering piece, I cut a piece that was just shy of my base piece so that once I cut this in half and trim just a little bit off of each piece, I could get a nice border going all the way around. Now this would also be great on a scrapbook page for your layout, or if you like making really big cards, this is beautiful. So while I was at it, I went ahead and cut a few of those. Another one I cut were these scallops. I have not folded any of these because I'm not exactly sure where my fold line needs to be, but I will figure that out. And if you look at this, you can see this also has a really nice border going around. Now, also while I was in there, I cut this one, and for some reason I neglected to resize the layering piece. So it's the exact same size as the base piece. Now, one way to get around that is I could scooch it up just a little bit and have it that way, or I could just simply take this one and fold it in half going this way, or I could fold it in half going this way and still end up with a really cute card. Before I move on, let's go back to this one. When I laid it out on my mat, I laid this out so that I would have quite a bit of paper left, and this would allow me an opportunity to stamp, punch, or cut something in a coordinating piece of paper. When I cut mine for my Easter cards, I actually used a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. With the leftovers, I debated about keeping it because I could have used it as a frame on a scrapbook page, because it continued on around and down here. I purposely set mine there because I wanted to use this leftover paper. And what I wound up doing was looking to see where my widest piece was located, and then I made my first chop there, and then what was left over could be punched, cut, or used in another way on the card. But I'll return this here just so you can see where that came from, and then you can see the bits that were removed and pulled off and discarded. But if you wanted to use this on a layout page, just shift this over a little bit and you'll have a lovely frame going around the outside. Now for some of the other things that I cut for my cards and did not use. I cut some of these because I thought they were really cute. My plan was to take this and somehow use it up at the top of the card. And again, I think it's adorable and it looks really cute. Then I pulled out the other one that I cut. And I thought, ooh, that's kind of cute going across there. You know, how precious is that? And I actually considered using them. And then, of course, as you know from the final card, I changed my mind. But this is still a wonderful option. Then the last thing I have to share with you is the grass that I cut. I cut out a whole lot of grass that looked like this, and in the end decided I didn't care for it. I went back and threw a piece of that leftover white paper I had in there and cut it this size and decided that I liked that a whole lot better for my little birds to sit on. So I just wanted to share with you how I created the card base for my 2013 Easter cards using the Creative Cards cartridge from Provocraft. Until then.